By the 1970s, the term had oftentimes come to be used pejoratively when consumerism for various reasons became identified with radical social and political activism and reform. So, consumerism is a social and economic order that encourages the purchase of goods and services in ever greater amounts. However, in economics, it usually refers to a movement which promotes the right and safety of the consumer. It arose in the early 1900s as people grew increasingly concerned about consumer safety and manufacturing methods. A theory of consumerism was written by Thorstein Veblen. This theory was called the theory of leisure class, an economic study of institutions, in 1899. Thorstein was an American economist and a sociologist, and a leader of the Institution of Economics movement. He was born in Cato, Wisconsin on July 30th, 1857. Thorstein did graduate work at Johns Hopkins University under Charles Sanders Peirce, the founder of the Pragmatist School in Philosophy. He took his PhD in 1884 at Yale University. Besides his technical work, he was a popular and witty critic of capitalism, as shown by his best-known book, The Theory of the Leisure Class, of 1899. The Theory of the Leisure Class, an economic study of institutions, by Thorstein, was conceived in 1899. The question is, why was it theorized? The primary reason for this appears to be his attack on the rational expectations theories that continue to dominate the discipline. Only in recent years, with the rise of such theories as butterfly economics, is Veblen being given serious consideration by economists. The theory of leisure class, an economic study of institutions, is based on what? It proposes that economic life is driven by the remains of social stratification of tribal society rather than by social and economic utility. The core principles. In the theory of the leisure class, an economic study of institutions, Veblen presented the concepts of conspicuous consumption and conspicuous leisure. To higher your social status can come in very different forms. As we have seen now, the most common one is the materialistic one. So apart from socially visible goods, what different forms are there to achieve a higher social status? For example, if you are the leader / the head of something that falls under common ground amongst all people, your social status will grow. For example, religion, the Pope. Another form derives from the barbarian culture of conquest, domination, and exploration, wherein once in control, the conquerors assigned the labor-intensive jobs to the vanquished people, and for themselves assumed the military profession and other less labor-intensive work, the elementary leisure class, thus a higher social status. In the worldly philosophers, the lives, times, and ideas of the great economic thinkers, Robert Heilbronner said that although valid for their late 19th century time, the economic and social logic theories of Thorstein Veblen have limited contemporary application because the studies are specific to the societies of the USA and the city of Chicago. Another American intellectual, H.L. Mencken, said, "Do I enjoy a decent bath because I know that John Smith cannot afford one, or because I delight in being clean? Do I admire Beethoven's Fifth Symphony because it is incomprehensible to congressmen and Methodists, or because I genuinely love music?" This means it is not always what about the guy next to you has. It is sometimes about what you truly love. But I found one problem with his theory is the word evolve. Human beings don't stay in a barbarian tribe anymore. we as humans have evolved. It's not always that a janitor's son will later become a janitor. Most of people are educated and try and get the funds to go and study, and a janitor's son can become a doctor one day. That shows you that the day and age in which he wrote his article is outdated with our times today. That nobody is restricted in a certain class. You're only restricted when you restrict yourself.